Let's go back in time to the history of education in the Philippines. Just like our own country, our education system also undergone several stages of development from pre-Spanish time till the present. During the struggle of our race, leaders' focus of priorities was on education to meet the needs of the society. The Department of Education is the central office for education in our country, with 18 regional offices, NCR being one of the biggest with 16 divisions. One of those is DepEd Malabon. DepEd Malabon is still anchored with the vision and mission of the Department of Education in the Philippines. With that mission and vision, they have their social responsibility for the future generations of our country.
What is the division's social responsibility?
SDO Malabon's social responsibility is to educate the young people and make them later on as productive and responsible citizens of the community, if not of the whole country.
The Department of Education is under one secretary, different under and assistant secretaries and regional directors. The Division of Malabon is under the supervision of the Schools Division Superintendent and Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, supervisors down to the different personnel. With a small division like DepEd Malabon, from its superintendent to the personnel, it is easy to have a wonderful environment as an organization.
What is the work environment and culture in DepEd Malabon?
DepEd Malabon has a very good culture and work environment. The people here are basically very courteous, they are generous, they are very accommodating, and I can see them as very cooperative in terms of our desire to accomplish our mission in DepEd.
Every department or organization experience different difficulties and issues they face as one.
What are the top issues and concerns you've usually encountered?
Issues basically in DepEd Malabon is similar to those of other divisions. No? Here in Metro Manila, as much as we would like to provide the most conducive learning environment to the learners, we can hardly afford to do that because in the city there are no more buildable space. Although DepEd has the budget to build a lot of classrooms, we are limited by the fact that the city has no more space where we can build these classrooms. And another thing is that our learners are coming from the impoverished communities. So poverty is a big hindrance for us to realize the kind of education we would like to provide the learners. We have school-based feeding program. However, we have not yet reached 100% of the enrollees. We are catering to the severely wasted and wasted learners. So we provide them meals, one meal each day. As for the learning materials, still we are short of it because of certain problems in the procurement and what else?
In the public
Teachers
schools.
also do have problems
In what way?
financially because if they are receiving 20,000 a month, that could hardly support a family of 4 or a family of 5, where most of our teachers belong. No? So, though we have these hindrances in our system, the department is trying its best to address this concern so that later on we could really achieve what we always wanted, and that is to provide quality education to our learners.
With a good environment and people striving towards the better, it is easy for the organization to resolve its issues.
How do you manage misunderstandings or conflict?
conflicts, misunderstanding, these are parts of the organization, and we cannot do away with it. But I see to it that we settle it sitting down, meaning to say we confer, and then we try to discuss things, and then as much as possible have a win-win solution for all these conflicts.
What is the most stressful part in working in the organization? How do you handle it?
Most stressful is when it's time to release money to the field and then the budget has not yet come. That becomes stressful for us because thousands of teachers are, say for instance, waiting for their benefits, and yet the budget has not arrived. So we get to be lambasted in the social media. So mostly these things, and then the difficult procurement process that we have to undergo if ever we want to acquire things, to undertake seminars, trainings. We have really to undergo and follow closely the procurement process of the government.
Maintaining a good environment and ensuring that the mission and vision of the organization will always be applied is one thing DepEd Malabon is aiming for.
How do you ensure that the MVO of DepEd is still being applied despite of issues?
We are focused on it. The mission, the vision, the goals of DepEd, they are in our heart. So, and every time we get to meet the teachers, we get to meet the principals, this is always being repeated to them. And our desire is really to be working as one DepEd, to realize our goals for our learners.
How do you maintain the good environment in your division?
To maintain a good environment in the division, the vision, the direction of where we are going to must be clear to everyone. From the lowest rank personnel to the highest, we are one into that direction. Because I believe that if people understand why we are here and why we are doing the work, they will be giving their best always. So I make it sure that everyone is aware of what is happening in the division. Even the janitors, the guards are being informed so that when things happen inside the office, they would understand why it is happening.
To further sustain the department, strategic management enables the organization to focus on long-term directions and interface with the internal and external environment.
Does your division have long-term goals?
Of course, our long-term goal is really to ensure that all school-age children are schooled. Not in a formal school, but somehow they are reached by the services of DepEd. So there are learners which cannot fit into the formal schooling. So we have the alternative learning system where they can still be schooled despite not being inside a classroom. That is one of our long-term goals. We want 100% participation rate. When I say participation rate, we are targeting all school-age children, meaning to say the 5-year-old up to the 18-year-old young people are in school or they are being schooled. Another is to provide them the best education that the DepEd can afford to give them. Okay? And then make the office run as efficiently and as effectively as possible so that we could realize the goals of the DepEd.
With the mission and goal in mind, the division is striving hard to give the best services for the future generation of the country. And with that, they are recognized in the region and most especially by the whole country. The Division of Malabon and the whole Department of Education will always strive hard for the betterment of the students of the whole country. With one mission, one goal, we will and we can.